Welcome to your Productivity Pulse, a place and a space where we move beyond the checklist and into the heart of the matter. For those of you who are just stepping into the conversation with me, I want to fully introduce myself. I'm Michelle Ochericdeo, productivity coach, corporate wellness strategist, and registered art therapist working in the field for over 32 years. I truly believe that when building any size business, the first step is to identify what kind of life you want to live, and then to start building your business around that value framework. 4 years ago, I started a new journey of expanding my counseling and business coaching practice to include the development of a series of time blocking tools that were intended to reduce stress, improve productivity, and ignite sparks of joy in people's personal and business life. It quickly grew from a series of time tools to a time core strategy system, and then into a philosophy about reimagining productivity, about finding a way to build a successful life on your own terms. One of the things that I discovered during this transformation was that I used to commonly say the phrase, "I just don't have enough time." But after 4 years of trial and error and creating a series of systems that I work through myself, sometimes a little bit challenging, I have to admit, I've stopped saying that phrase because now I truly have enough time for everything I want to do in my life. And with summer just around the corner, I thought this was a great time to see how I can help you rediscover some of the lost minutes like I have done and dust off a goal or two that have been sitting on the shelf and just need to be seen and activated. Let's get started. The question I want to ask you today is, what are you going to do with your summer minutes? I ask this question because that is the question I've been asking myself. What do I want to do with my summer minutes? Not your kids' summer, not the cottage plans or the family reunion or the backlog of work you're hoping to chip away at in July. We can set aside a task for that, for sure. I mean your summer, the one that belongs to you. Or maybe the question I actually need to ask is, when was the last time you had a summer that felt like it belonged to you? As I was thinking about that question for myself, the first date that came to me was 1986 when I was in summer of grade 11 and I went away to Saskatchewan to spend time with my grandparents and my aunt and uncle and had an adventure of my lifetime, then came back and spent the rest of the summer going to Expo 86 and moving seamlessly into grade 12, getting myself ready for that last year of high school. But I think that's been a long time, maybe too long in between those summers, and this is going to be the one. Because here's what I've noticed, and I hear it all the time in the conversations with the people I work with. Summer arrives and somehow we think the pace is going to slow down naturally. Fewer clients, more people are away, more time for ourselves. And that somehow the longer days are going to magically create more time and give us a chance to take care of everything on the list that we have been putting off. Time alert! I'm flashing my fingers. In the summer, we still only have 168 hours a week. How can we use it better? The start of summer ticks away, and you keep meaning to get to the things you thought about in the spring. And then mid-August rolls around and you realize the summer is almost gone and you're not sure where it went. And you try to reframe and you set a new date to start one of those projects, one of those dusty goals on the shelf. Sound familiar? We started pieces of that conversation in episode 23, but today I want to offer you something different, something tangible, a place to get started. A summer that feels intentional. A summer where you use your minutes on purpose, not by accident. And as you might have guessed, I have a time tool that can help you do that exactly. I've always found that one of the best ways to share the what and how of an idea are with a good story. I want to tell you about a conversation I had not too long ago with a mom of 2 small children. She came to me completely wrung out. She told me she felt too busy to get anything done for herself, the house, or her business. She said she was not just too busy to hit her goals, but too busy to make calls to clients, too busy to get on top of her emails, and too busy to even play with her kids when she wanted to. And my heart ached for her because I recognized that look on her face. I saw it in the mirror for years. So I asked her a question. Are you open to trying something a little different with how you use your time? You mean like Pomodoro? That doesn't work for me. And she tried to shut me down. I smiled. Yes, a type of time blocking, but no, not like Pomodoro. It's a method I've created based on something I call the 42-minute hour, and we can customize it for your unique needs. She looked at me a little skeptical. So I said to her, before we can start the time blocking, I need to get a better idea of where every minute of your day is going. Then she turned a little green. Don't worry, it's not as painful as it sounds. Then I paused and thought about some of the other clients I worked with and a few of the tears and frustration that came about after they finished their time recovery assessment. So I put a caveat in there and I said, but I have to let you know though, it can be a little shocking at first for people to see how they're using their time in black and white. But this is part of the accountability pillar of my time core strategy system that I have. I gave her a minute until she was ready for the next part. We're going to start with something called a time recovery assessment. It's meant to awaken an awareness of where all the minutes in your days are being spent. It's a 2-day detailed account of your time, an honest snapshot of how you are using all 2,880 minutes in those 48 hours. Then we'll follow up with a coaching call to review the assessment and customize a time recovery plan. And then you can truly start building the life and the home-based business you want. She paused again, a question on the tip of her tongue. So, the 42-minute hour, what is that? She asked, leaning into the screen. I love that question, and if you haven't heard the story of how it came to be, I invite you to listen to episode 2. But beyond the story, you have to break down the mechanics. Let's call my client Amber. Amber, I want you to imagine 2 goals. One primary goal, something that needs your brain's attention and focus, and one secondary goal, something that has been weighing on your mind and you just haven't set time aside to get it done. For instance, you talked about being behind on your work emails. That could be a primary goal for you to focus on for 42 minutes, and then you set a secondary goal for the remaining 18 minutes to do something like taking out the recycling or unloading the dishwasher or walking down to the mailbox with a letter that needs to go out. The 42-minute hour equals out to 60 minutes of focused and blocked time and allows you to achieve parallel goals within an hour, giving your body and mind a chance to move forward successfully, which we cannot always achieve if we're trying to multitask in a traditional sense. Amber once again looked like I had pulled the rug out from under her. 42 minutes, 18 minutes. I get where you're going with this, but honestly, the idea that I have 60 minutes in a row to get anything done seems almost impossible. I heard the skepticism in her voice, and as we had not even completed the time recovery assessment, I wanted to make sure that she knew there were other options and did not just give up. Amber, this is where the customization can come in. I have many more time blocking options that you can choose from when building your personal plan. For instance, we could build a plan that includes something called the Split 42. Split 42? She looked at me, laughing, trying to figure out what I was saying. Yes, do you think you could find one block of 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to start with during your day? She paused and took a breath. Yes, I should be able to find 30 minutes. But how does that work? 21-9, I said. 21 minutes for primary goal, 9 minutes for a secondary. All you need to do is be intentional. Heck, you can even make it a game for your kids, I was telling her. Give them a stopwatch and have them time you as you intentionally set your goals and make them happen. Imagine that, setting up a scenario where your kids actually see you setting time aside to achieve your goals and having them incorporated in that process. And there you have it, the 42-minute hour. The first one. And as a consultant, this is where most of my conversations usually begin. Whether I'm working one-to-one with an individual or sitting down with the owner and managers of a small business who are looking to redefine how they are approaching the use of time in their business, we start with the TRA, the Time Recovery Assessment. Very few people believe they have enough time to get everything done that is wanted or needed in their lives. But the truth is, most of us have more minutes available than we think. We just haven't looked closely enough at where all our minutes are going. Back to Amber, my working mom. After asking her to complete my time recovery assessment and reviewing the results, we started to explore the routines found in her assessment together, and she got quiet for a moment. And then she said something very brave. She admitted that whether it was the middle or at the end of the day, she often fell into scrolling through videos on her phone, and what started as a 10-minute break could turn into 30 minutes or more. And that before she knew it, the window of time she thought she had for herself or her business had disappeared. And that it was not until she looked at the results of her time recovery assessment that she finally acknowledged she wanted to make a change. And if that was going to happen, she needed to do it soon. Her first reaction was embarrassment to the results of the TRA, but then she found the courage. I let her know she wasn't alone and that many people find the results jarring at first. The TRA is not intended to shame anyone, but to awaken an awareness. Heck, I lived that story for years, always telling myself I didn't have enough time to do the things I wanted when I was spending many hours watching too much television. It wasn't true. And now I'm here to help you find the time and reimagine what productivity can look like for you today. So let's start figuring this out. This is where taking part in the time recovery assessment comes in, because I know you can do it. Think about it like flipping over a rock on the beach. We're not always sure what we're going to find underneath, but it's always an adventure. Once we can see where the minutes are going, we can begin to redirect them. The time recovery assessment, as I mentioned, is a simple 48-hour tracking tool. You map out what you actually did with your time over the course of the 2 full days. Not what you planned to do, not what you wished you had done, but what actually happened. Step 1. Head to the show notes and enter your email to receive your free time recovery assessment. Then choose 2 days in the next week, a regular weekday and a weekend day if possible. Those are your tracking days. Step 2. Fill out the assessment honestly. This is a discovery process, not a report card. Every 30 minutes has a notation slot. If you are at the gym for 90 minutes, then you just have to write in gym in the notes. It really doesn't take that long. And step 3. When you are done after the 2 days, review the assessment sheets and identify any patterns of time usage that you need to adjust. Second part, choose a primary and a secondary goal. And third, choose a time tool and set a date and time to execute it. I'll give you several time tools in the actual worksheet so you can choose from them. Things like the 42-minute hour, the split 42, and I'll put in a couple of bonus time tools for you to take a look at also. That's it, 3 steps. And from those 3 steps, you'll have the foundational pieces to start trying out a different way to plan and execute your daily goals. Now, here is what I want you to notice about all of this. I'm not asking you to overhaul your life before the long weekend and the summer begins. I'm asking you to look at 2 days. That's it. Because the most powerful thing you can do right now is not make a giant plan. It's to get honest about where the minutes in your days and nights are going and how you can use those minutes well. I want to bring us back to the summer question I asked at the top of the episode. Summer is genuinely one of the most interesting seasons for time recovery work because it's the season where our routines shift the most. Kids are home, schedules loosen, we travel, we stop for ice cream on a Tuesday afternoon, and we don't feel guilty about it, or we try not to. But you can be in charge of your own minutes. Summer's not an exception to that. It's an opportunity. What if this summer was the one where you actually made progress on the thing that has been sitting on that shelf? The book, the course, the creative project, the daily walk you keep meaning to start, the hour of quiet on Saturday mornings that has somehow never materialized. What if you went into it with a plan? Not a rigid schedule, not a color-coded hour-by-hour breakdown, just a simple, honest understanding of where your time is going and implementing one intentional block each day where you get to choose what happens inside it. That's the 42-minute hour, and that's exactly what the time recovery assessment is designed to help you build. Here's what I want you to do, and I'm going to make this as easy as possible because I know the last thing you need is one more complicated task on your list. Go to the show notes for this episode, join my community, and get your free time recovery assessment. It's a simple 48-hour tracking tool with space for 2 full days of data, as well as reflection questions to help you process the information. It takes a few minutes to sign up, and you do the rest at your own pace over the week. If you do the assessment and think, I need help building a plan, I'm here. I offer strategic productivity coaching for individuals and small to medium-sized businesses. The first step is a 15-minute discovery call. No pressure, no pitch, just a conversation about where you are and where you want to be. The link is in the show notes. As we're wrapping up today, I wanted to share a thought. An elderly friend of mine once told me that every day above ground is a good day. She was 89 years old. And what she really was saying was that she had made a choice to make every minute count. I often think about that and the depth of the statement. You don't have to be 89, though, to understand the value of time. You just have to be willing to look at it honestly. And that's exactly what this assessment is going to help you do. So this summer, let's make it intentional. Let's make it yours. You're in charge of your own minutes, and it's time to make those minutes matter. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone you think may need to hear it. And may your minutes always matter. Until next time, keep listening to your pulse.